I'm, I'm Chris Campbell. And do I need to introduce myself, or are you guys gonna know me like one of them Hollywood stars?
No, you just give a little short introduction before get into the showing how to do something.
Well, I'm Chris Campbell, and I decided to wear a nicer shirt today. I had to wear my work pants because I just came from there, but I put this bit in the back of the truck and then I drove on over. So, what do you know? Do you want to know about when I was like a child, or?
Whatever you feel that'll help us get to know you a little bit, so we know who you are.
Well, I would say back in 1985, I was born. And I don't know if I was an accident or if I was done on purpose, but my mom had me. My parents didn't really have me. It was more my mom because my dad was there. He's been there the whole time, but physically, most time he just likes to be able to tune everything out. If NASCAR's on, he's happy. Those are really the only few times I do see him happy is, NASCAR, 4th of July, or anytime whenever they have an RV show down at the local Walmart. They'll have one in the parking lot. Most time he doesn't drive there because he's already been drinking a little and just talk. But back to 85, that's when I was born. I didn't know much because I was just born at the time. And I spent most of the time as a baby, doing baby things. I really don't remember a lot from that time. I guess I do a lot of crawling. It's probably where I did the majority of my crawling. I may have done a little walking, but mainly crawling.
No, you can jump ahead a little bit. We don't need too much history back that far. More recent history.
Well, I really haven't been doing much recently. I got a new model train I'm working on. Yeah, I like that model train. Is that all I really need to do? Is just talk about something?
Well, we need you to demonstrate something that you're good at doing, that you know how to do well.
Something I'm good at doing. I don't think I'm really good at anything particular.
Everybody's good at something.
I know what I can do. I can show you how to check my Meemaw's blood sugar. I can't particularly get her fingers because I really don't. I'll explain it to you a little bit. Let me go get it. Let me go talk to my Meemaw real quick. I'll be right back. All right. All right. So this is how I check my grandma's blood sugar. But before I go into that, she gave me these pictures, and she wanted me to show you guys, because when I was younger, she was like, "Oh, hey, did you see? Did you show them when you were younger?" And that was back when I had a nice mullet. And
How old were you there?
I don't know. It doesn't say on the back of the picture. I'd say probably about 5th grade. And I never knew anybody with glasses, and I needed glasses when I was younger. I only knew my grandpa that had glasses, and I thought, well, he's probably the coolest guy I know with glasses. So I got the exact same frames as him, as you can tell. And they had the bar across the top, and then like the nose part. And I was even able to get the doctor to put a little line in them, like Benjamin Franklin, the bifocals. So I had the mullet going, and I had the cool glasses and everything, corduroy everything. I think I had the whole corduroy shirt, corduroy pants. They made shoes out of corduroy. I probably had those too. It's pretty nice. My mom wanted me to show you some of these too. Like here's me out fishing when I was younger. That's me right there making that goofy face. I don't think I liked to fish when I was that younger. I still get a little queasy around fish hooks and putting the worm on a hook. I still don't know if I can do that. And there's my brother. He's making about the same face. His reaction's a little bit slower, so it doesn't look like he's doing that much. But the fish are probably flipping and flopping around, and who knows what they're doing. I don't even know what this picture is, but it's just me looking up in the sky. And I'm holding some. I'm probably either frog gigging or looking for crawdads. One of the two. I don't know what I'm holding. Hey, here's one. Here's one. Me holding the crawdad, probably from the same picture because it looks like I'm wearing one of the same shirts. And I'm holding the crawdad, looking at the camera, and I'm like showing it like, look at that.
That's great. Can we get to the demonstration? I know your mama wanted to show those.
Well, she just wanted me to show you guys these pictures and let you know really about my past and everybody. And I was trying to show you some of those. See, with this thing, it checks your blood sugar, and this thing right here, it pokes the little hole in your finger. And there's multiple fingers you can choose, and I wouldn't recommend your pointer finger because it's pretty nervy and you feel a lot with it. Your middle finger is really the first one you want to go with because it's pretty far out there. It's got a lot of calluses on it, but you really don't use it that much. And then when you do use it, it's got enough calluses on it, so when you poke a hole in it, it's all right. This finger you might think is all right, but it's actually pretty. You don't really use it that often, so a hole in it is not going to be very good. And then your pinky, you might be, well, I never use my pinky, but that's the problem. You never use your pinky, so the calluses aren't there, so it's going to hurt a little more. And all you really have to do is take one of these, and you want to really get a fresh needle each time. See, you take the old needle, and you take the fresh needle, and you take the fresh needle out, like this, and you stick it in there. Alright, and you take the old needle, and you put it away. And you make sure it works. And you put this on there, and the old needle, you're going to want to dispose of in the trash receptacle, and you put this back on there so you don't poke anybody. But it's just falling all apart everywhere. And you really want to get a new needle because there could be blood residue or who knows what else. Who knows who grabbed it in the middle of the night and poked at your finger. So, what you want to do is you want to first take how much blood you want, and you select it on the front. Right here, it's got little eyedroppers, and you pull this back, and it locks it, and then you just take it on your finger real quick, and then you press it. And sometimes you might need a little more blood because sometimes it doesn't work. I think I failed it. Nope. Alright. Well, that one's really small. Let me try one more time. There it is. See, it doesn't have a lot of blood coming out of my finger, but once you get the blood coming out of your finger, you get this thing on. Now this thing's not working. Hold on one second. Me, Mom! Alright, see, what I forgot was I needed to put one of these in there. You gotta pull this out, and then somehow you open up this like this, and then the front of this goes in here. Let's try that again. This time, I gotta put my finger again. Alright. There's not enough blood getting on there. So I gotta poke. I'm gonna do this finger. She's not working all right. See if I can. Yeah, I'm trying to get the blood to my hand. Alright, there's a little bit more blood. Try that. And it's still not working. If you just hold on a minute, we'll figure it out. Alright. I don't think I'm going to be able to figure this one out.
Have you done this before, or is this your first time?
I have done this before, but not on myself. Most of the time, my Mimo just has me poke her, and then she does the rest. And I've seen her do it, but I think we need to pause for a moment and go to one of my thinking places, and then I can actually figure out what I'm going to be doing and show you. Now, unfortunately, we cannot go outside today. I wanted to take you out and show you the beauty of the train track. The majestic railroad, if you will. But unfortunately, it decided to rain today. And you know what? I need to put a little something in before I talk about this, because I don't understand the weather. I mean, I understand how it works. I understand the water evaporating from the ocean and it's coming on around from the clouds and down. I'll tell you one thing though, if you have chickens, you're going to want to get them inside when it is raining, because they will drown. Have you ever seen a chicken outside in the rain? When the rain starts falling down, the first thing the chicken's going to do is look up. And unfortunately, the design on the chicken body causes its neck to open up. Its mouth opens up when it looks up in the sky, and raindrops will fall right down in that chicken, and that chicken will not stop looking at the sky, and the chicken will drown. All right? That is a PSA or a public service announcement for any of you that want to know. When it's raining, your chickens need to be inside or covered. What? Well, I wanted to go to the railroad tracks, like I told you. I wanted to show you about it and talk to you about it. But the weather, you know, how it does, how it's all weathery. Decided that it wanted to rain today, like I told you. And I I know about as much about the weather as I do about women. And I don't want to talk about the weather here. But I don't understand why 1 second it can be rain, it can be all sunshines and happy, right? And you're like, weather, I love you. You're the greatest thing. And then pretty much like overnight, it goes from summer to fall. And you're like, weather, you were sunshiny and happy. And then you turned into this beautiful fall weather. The trees are changing. Animals are getting all fat and getting ready for sleeping. And then one day you wake up and it's ice cold. I don't know if this is going to be a children's show, so I'll refrain from using some of my language. But it is an ice queen, for lack of a better word. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's just the weather. That's how it does. But I don't understand how the weather switches so fast from being all happy and sunny, and then it goes to the fall, and then it starts getting all real cold and complaining about everything. But I'm going to talk about the weather right now. And then when you think it's done being cold, you're like, all right, maybe it was something I did, and maybe somebody broke something of the weather's and they're just retaliating or whatever. Then it decides to turn on the waterworks, and it decides that it's gonna rain and cry and cry. But I'm gonna talk about the weather, right? And it's just crying and raining, and you're like, I don't understand what I did, because I was nice to the weather when it was all cold, and I don't like the cold, but I tried and I was nice to the weather, and that's what we're talking about right now. It's just the weather. But then it gets all cryy and complaining and mopey, and I don't get it. And I don't understand why the weather says one thing and then does another. Like we're only talking about the weather right now, and let's take global warming, right? Global warming, I love warm weather. I love when the weather's warm. But the thing about global warming is, it gets cold. The world gets cold. Why is it saying global warming when it's getting cold? It's that weather trick. The weather loves playing tricks, loves playing games, and loves telling you one thing and doing another. I don't understand it. Another thing I don't understand is why my beautiful state of Tennessee will have cold weather, and then above my state it will be warm weather, and below my state it will be warm weather, because the weather is just friends with those states, right? They're just friends, and we're only talking about the weather, and they're just friends. But the weather's always sunshiny in these states. I don't understand why the just friend states get nice sunshine weather, like the folks in California. They get sunshine, and down in Florida they get sunshine weather, but I get winter weather. I don't understand what the weather point is, and I know the weather says it's friends, and we're only talking about the weather right now, but it doesn't make any sense to me. And that's really all I want to talk about on that subject. Well, this is where I come, run railroad tracks, look for stuff. I like to do a little thinking, find stuff. Like this wood, it could have been from a Viking ship, down there floating in the ocean. Who knows? You find all sorts of stuff. This is guaranteed beef jerky. I love beef jerky. You can walk on the railroad tracks. If you got good shoes, you can run and slide. I can't really do that, so I can't really show you how to do that. But if you want, I can show you where the trains are. We can go down there and look at all those. You know, you gotta be careful though, because trains come all the time. Sometimes I spend all day out here, walking around, looking at stuff. You can take that out, right?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Well, I like to look at all the water and see all the little things moving around. They don't even know how little their life is. Like at any time, I can just throw a rock in there and kill one of them. And they have no idea that I even exist. And sometimes I wonder if they hate me or if they even know about me. That could have been one right there. Does he know me? Does he hate me? Who knows? So, you're getting a rare sight right now. The train over there, it might be coming this way. And that's really the best way to view a train, is when it's passing you. Because, I mean, sometimes you're going along with the train, and you don't really get to see it pass you. I guess it might be faster, but the best way to see a train is when it's actually passing you. That's really the best direction you want to be looking at a train. You don't want to see a train coming towards you, you know. And you don't want to see a train going away. I guess when you're watching a train from the side, you're doing both at the same time, which gives you about right okay. And that's how trains make me feel. If you look right over here, there's a can.
What kind of a can you think it is?
I think it's a bean can. Probably a refried bean. See, if you look here, there's probably a hobo. See, this is what I would like to do. I would like to take my hobo time. You know, you find yourself something. You come over wherever, you know, just in between. And you just sit on down. And you bang open the can. You eat your beans. And you can just watch trains all day. And you don't even have to go anywhere. You just think about where they're going. It's kind of like you're going there. I tell you what though, if you're going to be jumping on trains and running around, you're going to want to carry a railroad spike with you. See, because on the box carts, what they do is their doors are easy to open from the outside, but once you're inside, there's no way to get out. It's not like one of them freezers with the push button opens from the inside. So what you do is you take a railroad spike and you just shove it in when you're jumping on, and that way the door doesn't shut all the way and doesn't latch or anything. So you can sit in the boxcar and not be stuck in, which would be bad.
How did you figure that out? Did somebody tell you that, or did you get stuck one time?
Well, I personally have never been stuck, but I've talked to people who've been stuck. And traveling along, you realize, well, these people have figured it out, and they kind of pass it on. And I'm just passing it on to you if you ever want to go railroad hopping. It's a blast, I'll tell you that. There's nothing like it. I mean, the beginning it takes a while because you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're like, I just want to get on a train because I love trains. when a plumb buck goes somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. The conductor knows where he's going, but he's not going to tell me because I'm not supposed to be on the train. Because it is illegal. But when you hop on the train and you put the railroad spike in there and you get out your beef jerky and you're sitting there and you finish your beef jerky and drink a little water and you're like, you know, that was delicious. And the wind is blowing in your hair. Most of the time you gotta take off your hat, unless you want to lose your hat, but I don't recommend it because I really like my hat. The good thing is, you know, you can put stuff on your hat, like I like to go fishing, so there's some fishing hooks on there, and if any time I run out of fishing hooks, I know where they're at. They're just right above me. If I found it, I put it in a dip can. You carry the extra ones around. That's one reason, but like any good thing, probably not before you get on a boxcar, because you're going to be doing some running. And it's kind of hard to run and dip at the same time. It's doable, but not recommended. So, you put one in, I'll tell you what, those were beans. Where's that can? Those were beans in the can. I can tell you that right now. Once you get all set, and you're all sitting there and you're like, oh, I got the wind in my hair and I finished my beef jerky. You don't know where you're going, but you're going somewhere. And that's why I love coming to railroad tracks. Look at me, I'm already feeling better. I don't care about the weather anymore. I can just go on my way. So much so that in fact, I think I know what I'm going to show you how to do. I think I figured out something. I may not be the best, because there's always going to be somebody better than me. No matter what I do, anything, there's going to be somebody better than me. Playing video games, there's these 12-year-old girls who just run around, blow my head off. I don't even know which direction's up. I'm done with it. Am I going to be the best doctor in the world? Nope. But I think I figured out something that I want you guys to see, that I can do, that I can show you how to do. That right now I might be better than you, but I guarantee you, a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, a little bit of dip, you can probably get better than me. Hi. Now, I'm very excited about this because this is something that I really thoroughly do enjoy. What you're going to need is a lock, right? Some type of lock. I happen to have two different locks that have different keys. And you're going to need, this is a Southhorn lock picking kit. It comes with all sorts of different tools. And you can get this off of the Amazon website, and they have the fancy ones with the weighted handles and everything. This is just one of the real thin ones. You don't need anything fancy. But before I get into showing you how to pick a lock, I'm going to have to explain a little bit about it so you have some understanding to be able to visualize it. Those are really the only things you need. A lock and a lock-picking set. A little bit of time and a little bit of knowledge. Now, when you look at a lock, and you're looking in straight like this, you see the keyhole, and typically when you're unlocking a lock, it's going to twist this direction right around like that. And there's a flaw in the design of locks because they are drilled either by hand or by machine. And how they work is there's a tumbler inside of the locking mechanism, and they are not drilled perfectly straight. They're kind of drilled at an angle just because of machinery and imperfections. Now, there are higher end locks that work completely different, but this is just a basic pin and tumbler lock, like the locks here. And how they work is really simple. Inside your classic lock, there are pins. I'm only going to draw 4 of them. Sometimes there's 5, 6. And inside the lock, the pins have 2 parts. See, when you put the key into the lock this way, you typically have your key. And it bumps against these. And these lines have to line up. What a lock picking set enables you to do is to take a pin and push this one down till it's sheared off right there. And that's what enables the lock to twist. Without the key, all these raise up at different levels, and this purple part right here gets into the shear and doesn't enable the lock to turn. And when you're lock picking, what you're trying to do is line all these up, knowing that there's the imperfection that they're slightly twisted off to the side, one way or the other, and it enables you to push individual pins down one at a time. That's typically on the lower end locks. There's some of the higher end locks that are much more complex, like the American locks, where the second pin is actually more of an eye, so you can get it past this and it will lock in there to prevent lock picking. That's all they are, is really prevention of lock picking. It can be done, but for this demonstration we're just going to be talking about the classic basic lock picking on a basic tumbler lock. And all it does is take a little bit of time. There are 2 main tools that you're going to be using. One is called a torque wrench, like this, typically in a L shape or 7 shape or backwards 7 or backwards L, hockey stick, whatever you want to do. See, this one's a little different because it's twisted, gives you a little more leverage. Knowing about locks and which direction, what you can do is you can put this in, and if you just look in there, you can see the tumblers. And you can see the pins inside the tumbler. You put the lock in, or you put the torque wrench in, and I know that the lock's going to open this way, so this tumbler needs to spin this direction. So you just apply a little bit of pressure. The other tool that you're going to need is the assorted rakes. There's single push rakes, there's big rakes, there's little zigzag ones, there's sharp ones. I typically like the kind of wiggly one, and there's really no wrong way to do it. There are people that could open this lock in a split second. This is the nothing lock. And all you're trying to do is line up all those pins inside so it enables the lock to open, while applying a slight amount of pressure slowly on the torque wrench. So you take this and you just put it in there and you just twist a little bit until you feel it. And then you feel it, and then it opens right up. Like that. That was a little fast. And you can tell the lock is locked now. It doesn't open. You take your rake in there, and you spin a little bit, and then you just apply a little bit of pressure, and you're like, all right, show me what you're doing. Show me. And it's all it does is takes time, and so if it doesn't work, you pull it back to get all the pins back in their upright position. and you try again. You're like, alright. And this is called raking. You know, you just pull it over, and just kind of like you're just trying brute force. You're just trying to get it in there and get it enough to where it can open up and actually go. Sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it doesn't. And with practice, you can actually get the locks open faster. And this works on almost any lock. Even digital locks. There's different types of locks for the faster ones or the round ones. Right like that. As you spend time practicing on lock picking, you'll get better and faster, and you'll learn your own techniques. Like this one. Completely locked. There's a little shield on it, so I pull that down. I know which direction this is going, so I take my torque wrench. I put it in. This is a different key for this lock than the other one. It doesn't open up. You just take it in there. You just feel around up. Then you feel it, because then the torque wrench kind of gives way, and then you can feel it, and it opens right up like that. It's simple as that, and then you're in. I spent a lot of time on a farm, and I didn't always have the key with me. And that's actually what got me interested in lock picking, is spending all this time without the keys, wanting to get into these places. It's not illegal to purchase one of these, but it is illegal to walk around with one on your person. So I would not recommend it. Though you can practice, and it is a skill you can develop. And it's actually a little safer, depending on your belief, to have a lockpick set outside than a key. It may take you a little longer to get inside, but if you put the lockpick set, not any Joe Schmo is going to walk up and turn your key and get into your house or whatever. And if you're going to try to do something like this on a more advanced level, like a car, cars have two sets of pins. They don't have them just on the bottom or just on the top. They have them on the bottom and the top. And you'll need a tool called a jiggler. And you get it in there and you jiggle it on both, and it hits tops and bottom. And you really want to get a book and invest if this is something that you want to do. But from this, I discovered computers, and they work about the same. They enable you to break into them and lockpick them. And I'll show you how to do that. So when you first start Backtrack and you open up your terminal, you're going to want to go ifconfig as interface configuration. And you see that WLAN 0 is enabled and working. Sometimes you might have a different LAN, but mine's WLAN 0. So that's what I want to be using. You're going to need to adjust yours accordingly. To start monitoring on that, to enable a monitor on that, you're going to need to start airmon ng start WLAN 0. And what that tells me is that my Realtek LAN driver has a monitor port enabled. And if I go to interface config, I can see that now I have a newly created monitor port. And that's really where you're going to be capturing all your data. You start arrow dump ng on mon 0. Oh, you gotta spell it right too. On mon 0. Make sure you spell it right, the whole word in both of them. And this tells you the different Wi-Fi networks that are around you. And it tells you the encryption that they're using and the cipher that they're using. I can see that human canvas right here is encrypted with WPA, and it's using a CCMP cipher, and it's using a pre-shared key for the authorization type. Alright, it's already sent 15 data packets in getting about 6 packets a second, and there's 7 beacons, and it has a -40 for power. Now power's in decibels, and the closer to 0, the higher the power for the Wi-Fi. After this, what you're going to want to do is arrow dump ng capture on the channel is on channel 6. So, and then we write the file and then we type in the broadcast station's ID, and we can see that that is right here. So we just go C0 colon C1 colon C0 colon 98 colon 29 colon dB, and then we're going to capture IVs on mon 0. And what that is doing right now is it's capturing the data from this Wi-Fi point, and it tells us the stations that are currently connected. This MAC address is connected to this, which is this one right here. And for WPA and WPA2, what you're going to want is to capture a 4-way handshake, and that'll pop up right here. To do that, all you have to do is airplay ng tag 0 is the deauthorized packet that you're going to inject. You're going to transmit it one time. Tag E for the ESSID, and it's human canvas, and we're going to do that on mon 0. We need it's a replay. And that was sent. And then you can see right here that there's a WPA handshake that we got from this network port. Then if you open up your file browser, then if you open up your file browser, you'll see that your WPA file is right here. And if we go to word list right here, then we open up the terminal and we tag W for the word list, and you can just drag this right in there like that, and it'll put your word list under root Pinterest password word list darkcode.list. And then if we go back to the root, this is our WPA file. We drop that in right there, and then all we have to do is hit enter and let it start its cracking. Now this can take a while depending on how many keys you're testing, and all this is doing is like picking a lock, and it's trying each different pin multiple times. It tells you how many keys you've tested, how many seconds you've tried, and how many keys a second you're actually testing. Right now I'm testing about 2,100 keys, plus or minus 50 a second. And then as you can see here, the key has been found, and it tells you right here, and you can verify that. If you hit Command C, it cancels whatever your current process is. If we go over to the Wi-Fi manager, it has all the different networks here. And then if we say properties, and we know it's a WPA 1 or 2, it's a PSK, it's a pre-shared key, and we type in necroscope, then we say OK, and then we connect. Go over to the internet, and we type in cats, we can see that we are now on the internet. And if you want, you can go interface config, and you can see that the wireless LAN is connected with this IP address here, and we are on Wi-Fi. And that's really all it takes, is finding something you like, and then learning about it, and then learning about something new that's in a related field, if you are so inclined to do so, and then you just keep learning. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I have a dance number for you now.
Well, I'm on my way to an interview. I need this job, I'm overdue. My luck's gotta change, I need to pay the rent. Well, I brushed my teeth and combed my hair, found out the job's no longer there, and here I was with my money already spent. Well, I'm a day late and $1 short. Before too long I'll end up in court. A day late and $1 short. Here I was on my way, I was trying to set things right. Then I found out to my dismay, I ain't gonna eat tonight. I was on my way to this interview. I needed this job, I'm overdue, but I'm a day late and $1 short. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. I'm gonna end up on the road with my clothes in a garbage bag. Maybe I'll rob me a liquor store, or I'll end up on a slab. I needed this job just to pay the rent. My luck's all bad, but don't heaven sent. Day late and $1. My luck's gotta change, I need to pay the rent.
Railroad track.
We got a little tune now about Creative Commons. For all you folks out there want to give stuff away, sing it out just with a like, I'm pretty sure. It goes like this. You got the CC by and C and D, CC by and D, and then the CC by and C and C, CC by and C. It gets quite the CC in a way, but that's the world we live in. So you CC by, cause the C by is a gift that keeps on giving. Well, that's what Victor Stone says. He says, you got CC by and C and D, CC